Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone's doing well. Today's video is going to be about adding the signatures. So here is a set of papers that are from My Porch Prints. So if you search Boho Baby on the Etsy shop, you should come up with this kit. So I've just put the pages into 3 piles so I know what I want in the signatures, and this unruly lace was driving me mad, so I put it around one of my lace spools, which are also available in my Etsy shop. If you want a set, I've literally, if you do want to use them, I recommend that you print them out, cut them on some, well, put them on some pretty heavy cardstock if you can anyway, and then what I did is literally stuck them onto some more hard cardstock, cut around them, and then stuck another piece on the back so they're really nice and sturdy. And obviously you can print out as many as you like, so I've literally got tons of these for all of my fabric. So here now what I'm doing is I am using some lace to edge the papers. Obviously you can sew the lace on, but for those of you that are aware of my videos, you'll know that I do not do so well with my sewing machine. It's a bit of a nightmare. So I've gone with the Fabri-Tac instead, which will give it a nice hold. I was also considering ruffles, but to be honest, the book is going to be quite chunky anyway, and obviously it's going to be full of all sorts of memories and things, and I just didn't want to like add unnecessary chunk to it that didn't need to be there. So with this lace, I'm making this into a lace pocket, but obviously with lace pockets that you can't kind of make them that taut. So these will obviously be for like quite chunky things. And I haven't done more than these 2 pockets with the lace. Generally throughout the book, I've just kind of edged the papers with lace rather than actually making pockets with them. And also because I literally have so much ephemera from one of the My Porch Prints kits, and there are tons of pockets there as well. So I thought, considering I'm going to be adding all of those in as well, I didn't really see much of a need to add loads of lace pockets as well. So just continuing here to add the lace on. So I'm only doing it on one side because, as I say, don't want to add too much extra bulk or anything like that. So I'm just trying to keep it sort of neat and streamlined where I can, which obviously I know a junk journal isn't really about that, but I do want to just try and make it generally as perfect as I possibly can, because I mean, if Kim likes this, then this might be something that she uses for a long time, so I just wanted to make sure that it was the best work I could literally do for her. So this lace has like this extra bit on, which I feel like generally would not be on the lace. So I'm literally just chopping that off. This was a little bit fussy to do, and I ended up doing it to all of my pieces of this lace because I liked it and it looked nice in the journal. So I did that, and then I continued to glue the lace onto the edges of all the printed pages, and then I added in some tea-dyed papers as well and some paper bags. I also wanted to add some other bits to the signatures. So here I've got some mulberry paper that I've had in my stash for a real long time, never really done anything with it, and this gorgeous sort of green floral paper, which again, I didn't even realise I had in my stash actually. I don't know where it's from at all, but I just thought the colour scheme went really nicely with these and with the mulberry papers, because they're kind of like, I feel like the journal is quite naturey, so I just wanted to make sure that I was using something with the right colour scheme, and I felt like these were perfect. So I'm just using some of the tea-dyed paper, which I've already chopped down to fit the journal, so I'm using that as a template to cut the mulberry paper up as well, just so that everything fits nice and neatly inside the pages of the signature. So now I'm going to look at attaching the signatures, so you can see here where they're going to fit in the journal. So we've got the flap that takes up 1/3 of the spine, and then I've got 2/3 of the spine available for the signatures. So here I'm just tapping them down onto my table to make sure that the pages are all aligned neatly and firmly into the centre. and then I'm just using some bulldog clips to clip the pages into the right place, and I've done that with all 3 signatures. And now I'm going to look at binding them to a backing card, which I'll be gluing into the journal. So this is essentially a hidden spine, and I'm doing this because I feel like it would be better if the journal could lay flat, just so that it's kind of easier for Kim to use. So here is some thread. So I was just going through a huge bag of threads that I've got to try and find the perfect colour, and then I'm just using a needle threader to thread my needle, and then I'm getting 3 lengths of the signature. You can just see there, so I've got the right size of thread to sew them. So this is my backing piece, so I'm just making a note here of where roughly I plan to put the signatures in. And then I am going to punch the 3 holes through the signatures using my awl or pokey tool, and then I'm basically just going to use the needle to poke the holes through on the backing paper. So I'm just using your basic pamphlet stitch, which you can see on the right. I've just got like a little cheat sheet, because as many times as I do this, whenever I come back to doing it, I will never ever remember that, like, the way that I need to do this, which is so strange. So I've literally got a little book there, which is a lovely little gift from my sister-in-law. It says Ellen's Projects on it, and it's just literally for my craft things. So whenever I've got any notes that I want to add, I just add them into that. Okay, so we can see here that I've now attached all 3 signatures to the backing paper, and the next mission is to glue this in. But I also want to include a bookmark as well. So again, this is the same material that I've used on the spine. So you can see, hopefully, if I'm just loading beads up onto a needle threader, but it's a massive one. I think it literally is 4 beads, but I saw the tip on Seven Plaza's channel, but I didn't kind of, again, show you the process because I mentioned in my last video that I literally have to use pliers to make sure I'm obviously not yanking that wire out of the handle, and then really struggling to get these beads onto the fabric, but it's worth it in the end because they definitely aren't going to come off, but I think I will tie a knot into this at the end, and I've got a bulldog clip on the end of it as well, just to make sure that the beads don't come back off again. So here you can see that I have coated the hell out of the spine with Fabri-Tac, just because I'd like to get a really good amount of glue in there. So I'm just literally pressing with my fingers between each signature to make sure that I'm getting that piece stuck down as tightly as I can to the spine. And then next what I'm going to be doing is lifting the unglued bits up and just gluing those down as well. So I just really need to try and make sure that I'm getting that that card into the creases of the spine itself. So I'm using a bone folder just to really try and push those in there. One mistake that I did make was after I glued these in, I folded the journal closed and tied it and left it like that for a couple of days to dry. So when I did come to open it again, the paper was not in the right position and it ripped. So I had to recover it, which was fine. It wasn't difficult. It was just literally sticking a piece over because the rip wasn't quite close to the signature enough to cause a problem. So that was fine, but just something to note is to let it lie flat when you've glued it in with Fabri-Tac. Just make sure you've worked it into the nook. But that is literally everything for today's video, so thank you very much for joining me. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Alright, thanks guys, see you next time.